I couldn't disagree with you more. I mean, we're talking about a culture who have used these sorts of things for a great deal, for a considerable length of time. If we were going to do randomised controlled trials on every aspect of our culture, we would be.
We would ban alcohol, we'd ban nicotine.
It wouldn't be just alcohol and nicotine.
But I agree with John that we function within this culture and we have to abide by the rules and controls which operate in this culture. So randomized control trials have to be done if this plant is going to be used in a clinical way to help people.
Oh, okay. In a clinical way, there's no doubt about that.
But I disagree completely with John to say that this plant, the only benefit of this plant is a mild recreational state. The plant is used by the Mazatec as a tool, as an exploratory tool and as a teaching tool, and there is no reason why we shouldn't be able to translate it in our culture in those terms.
You're right in one sense. That's probably all right in that culture and they see the benefit. But I'm not sure that in our society that will be a benefit. And we don't know what the risk is. I would want to know what the risks are.
So the obvious question that we've been living with for the last 24 hours, why is this plant thought to be sacred?
Well, I think it comes down to it has a compound that interferes with our brain. That interference creates something that's obviously pleasurable and interesting to the people using it, and they venerate that.
Sacred probably because as an hallucinogenic, I would imagine used in the right context and with the right sorts of social pressures, could be regarded as gaining access to higher, more divine forms. And there's no doubt hallucinogenics, they allow for that sort of experience to take place.
I would say that nothing is sacred by itself. It's sacred because it can be integrated in the way that it suits the culture best. And its very flexibility and gentleness allow exploration of the mysteries of creation.
It was, however, my guest's understanding of the nature of these mysteries and whether a single objective reality could be described that in the end seemed to underlie the many differences of opinion that we had seen over the last few days.
I suppose as a reductionist, scientist, I find it very difficult, but it's obviously a valid worldview, as it were, that there is a cosmos and is there something else, is there something more than the nuts and bolts of, the biochemistry, the cells in our brain, everything like that, and I don't think there is.
I'd be concerned at thinking that this was a drug which gave us access to God or to the cosmos or whatever. I think what it gives us access to are different interpretations, different ways of grasping the world you live in, externally, and a psychological world internally.
Salvia is said to give access to hidden knowledge, and although we still didn't know about any possible long-term dangers, I felt that we'd all gained insight into the plant itself during the experiment. So I was very much looking forward to the next trial on henbane, the highly potent and lethal hallucinogenic plant, reputed to have been used by the medieval witches of Central and Northern Europe.